Alright guys, so today I'm going to teach you guys a short video pretty much on how to rebuild one of these fuel bowls, which is already pre-disassembled so I can make it easier since I'm working one hand. Tools you're going to need are an O-ring pick, a T20 star bit, and I believe it's 3/16 Allen. And then obviously the kit. In this case, I got it from Diesel O-rings, and that's 7003, and this is for the 99 to 03. So pretty much after you have removed the lid from your fuel bowl, you want to remove the T20 torque screws. You got one here and then another here. You want to get long pliers and disconnect this plug from here. Once that happens, you literally extract this whole thing. This wouldn't come out, but you get the idea. So you got that, and then you extract this tower, which disassembles to the spring, right? You get one of this thing, and you have the safety switch, or not the safety switch, but the tower has a safety mechanism, so you cannot run the fuel bowl without a filter. So you have this other part right here, then the tower. We obviously need to replace this O-ring, this one, and so then after doing so, right, the fuel bowl is completely gutted. You want to remove the torque screws back here, right? We have two O-rings right here to replace. Then normally the drain valve stem normally sits here with 4 T20 screws. Once you remove those, you literally just open up. It's going to split into 2. And then you would replace these 2 O-rings right here. Once we do that, we're going to go to the regulator spring. And once you get these out of here, once you get them loose, these has a couple, it likes to fly off, so just be careful with these. So once you remove this, hold on, I'll pause this to be able to remove it. Obviously I'm working one hand. Alright, we're back. So once you remove the 2 T20 screws, you got one. We need to replace that O-ring. You got the spring. You got the part that holds the spring. We also need to replace this O-ring. And then you got another section back here. So make sure you don't lose this. Right? Then after that, that's pretty much it. Except we got the plugs, the 3/16 plugs, right? With O-rings as well. So they seal similar to JIC fittings. They seal similar to JIC fittings. And then that's pretty much it. We got the fuel bowl part. You got, normally would be a lot dirtier, kind of like this one, which is a lot dirtier. I just haven't gotten to that one yet, but you got that pretty much. And then in my case, I'm not going to remove these, but you can to reseal them. And that's about it. Now we're going to go to the second part, which involves tearing this kit apart and obviously following the instructions according to the instructions, obviously, and just resealing everything and just reassembling everything back. Alright guys, one other thing that I forgot to mention was that obviously these 4 Parker sleeves are going to go on the lines. Anyways, going back to this, following the instructions, just in case so it's not confusing, fuel pressure relief and fuel bowl, right, body, it's going to have one of these, and the color is going to be green. That's going to be the old one. Then you're going to have the O-ring for the water and fuel heater, which is this one. So you got the water and fuel heater, and obviously the fuel heater actual section. So this part right here, the green one goes here, the red one goes on this section, right? And then you have your plugs that we spoke about earlier, right? These are the 2 old ones. The 2 new ones are going to be black in my case. Then you got the durometer for the stem, They go in this section right here, right? In my case, they're blue, but the old ones are green. Then you have two of these, which one of them is going to be for the drain stem, which is going to be in here. I'll show you right now. And the other one's going to be for this section, which is the part that goes in here, right? And then obviously you have the tower O-ring. It's right here. And then you have the check valve seat, which goes in this section, which goes inside of the tower, right? So this one we already put it on. These obviously we already put it on. This one's gonna go. Okay, so going back to your fuel drain valve, there is a technique to taking this out, and I'll show you right now. So generally the closed position is like this, right? So as you can see, it has kind of like a ball. So what you want to do is, when it's closed like this, you want to turn it this way so that you see this diagonal exit. See how it's flat like that? And so when you look at this, the bottom part right here is going to be flat, and this part's going to be round. So when you align it like from closed like this, you pull it out, and so one of the O-rings from here, which is the drain valve and the fuel pressure regulator, right? One of them's going to go on the drain, the other's going to go on the regulator, right? And you got this one right here. It's going to be for the tower, and then you're going to have the check valve seat, which is this one, right? So obviously this seat has the following, right? This goes in here, right? Followed by check valve seat. Once you have the tower assembled, then obviously you put the little spring on it, and we are done with that. Next in line is fitting this sucker in here. So what you literally do is you align it, and that's it. Except now you need to obviously force that in there. Once you force it in there, right, you want to install your durometer or your fluoros. I forgot what these are called, but durometer O-rings. Let's clean that first. Let's finish cleaning it. So we got these in there. We got these water, fuel heater, and water detector, and the spring part. And so then this would go. The spring, obviously, this goes in here like so. So now we're gonna assemble everything step by step. So first step is installing this part, which is gonna be the sleeve, right? Okay, so now when you have this fuel bowl and you install the sleeve, you want to, obviously this is the tricky part, you want to install the spring, right? And now make sure this section is seated correctly. And so now you need to compress the spring while installing these T20 bolts. 1 second. Alright, so once you have them in, you just tighten these up. Once you have that on, you want to install your fuel heater and water detector. And it's going to be, again, T20, 2 of them. Okay, once that's tightened, the next step is installing your plugs, which is generally where you can connect a fuel pressure gauge, and this would give you a reading of pre-filter, and this would give you a pressure of post-filter. So once you get these on here, Once those are installed, the next step is your valve. And so what you want to do is, don't forget you had it on the on position, or I guess you can say open. So then you want to turn it so you see, well, the other way, sorry. So clockwise. And so once it's like this, sorry, once it's like that, then you simply slide it under and then just add the 4 T20 screws. Once you finish tightening all these, make sure it works, obviously. Okay, another thing is, do not over tighten these or you will strip the aluminum threads on this fuel bowl. And then the next section is installing the insides, or in this case the assembled tower that we had, right? That's going to go as so. Hold on, let me lubricate these. So continuing, you want to install the heater, like so. Then we're going to install the 2 T20, 1, 2, and then we're going to connect this plug to the fuel heater right there. Once we have done that, then the next step is to pretty much install it. And that's about it, guys.